All right, I'm gonna show you how I made this leash right here. It has a clip to be able to be used as a regular leash, but also as a slip leash. So I'm gonna show you how I made that in this video. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to grab the 1/4 of an inch parachute cord. This is a 1/4 of an inch parachute cord. What we're also going to get is we're gonna be using heavy duty barrel cord lock. That is a 1/4 of an inch. We're gonna push this through. That'll be just tight enough for it to fit the 1/4 of an inch parachute cord, but still be able to move it around a bit. After that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab some shrink tube. We're gonna put it down here first. This is gonna be used to conceal the stitching that we're gonna be doing on this end of our leash. For this particular example, I'm gonna be using a 1/4 of an inch clasp. This is brass. It's much more durable, much more resilient, higher working load limit than chrome-plated carbon, which is very common material used for leashes. Brass is actually much better. It's much more resilient. And if it does reach its working load limit, it'll bend before it breaks. So after we have the cord lock, after we have the shrink tubing, then we're gonna use the clasp. The size is for this right here. That's what the 1/4 of an inch is. It's this opening right here. What we're gonna be doing next is we're gonna be stitching this. After we stitch it, we're gonna put the tube over, and then we're gonna put some heat on it, and we're gonna shrink it. All right, so there you go. I'm gonna go right here. Got my wax string, got my hook needle, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm not gonna get a whole lot, maybe about 1.5 feet. I'm gonna grab my hook needle, run it through, and I am personally going to double it up. Once I double it up, I'm going to just make a figure 8, just a stopper knot. So essentially what I have here is I've got 2 figure 8s, and this will make it so that as I'm sewing it, it's not gonna run through. All right, so let's get started. And whatever I have left over, I'm gonna have about this much. And then right about here, I'm going to cut the needle. Now, so it doesn't unravel, I'm just gonna make a square knot. And on top of that square knot, I'm gonna do another figure 8. And I'm gonna push that figure 8 as close to the cord as possible. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my shrink tube and I'm going to conceal this. So this is already pretty secure, but if I was making this leash for a very powerful dog, which I've done before, what I'll additionally do is I'll get some crimping staples, and then you need a special tool for that. essentially one of these. And then I would just staple this as an added, as an added measure. I'll do 1 or 2 of these depending on how secure I want that leash to be. In this particular case, I don't need that. It's made for a small dog. So this is more than enough. Even for most dogs, this is more than enough. So I'm gonna put this here. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shrink it. And just a heat gun. While that's heating up, what I'm gonna do is this right here. So put a little bit of pressure on that so that way I can heat it up and spin it. There you go. And that's it. Now we have the leash. So it's a regular leash, but it can also be used as a slip leash. So now I have a regular leash and a slip leash.